Pieter Kriel, who's been out in the media, he's currently a media darling, out there being planted by mainstream media and some of the very powerful forces in South Africa that want to see it destroyed through socialism. That is basically who he is. He's a plant that is being put to destroy and poison the minds of young black and white, Indian and Asian people in South Africa. These people have realized that there's a gap in the market, and the gap is that, there's over 60% of eligible young voters who do not go out there to vote. And these people, these very powerful people, especially the mainstream media, who have catapulted Pieter Kriel to higher echelons as far as political influence is concerned, they will keep doing this to ensure that when the 60% of young people who are eligible to vote, who do not vote, finally stand up to go vote, they vote for political organizations like the EFF. He's a young socialist, young white liberal who's a Jewish, by the way. And I need you to look at this video that I'm going to play for you, then we are going to dissect it after.
So I don't think I would be voting for any political party in this upcoming election. But let me tell you what, as soon as there is a 20 or 25-year-old from a good community like Soweto or Khayelitsha, who has built a strong following and has good values and builds a youth-driven, community-driven, community-passionate movement, I will be the first to support them.
You mentioned that MK approached you. What did they say?
I was approached, if I'm not mistaken, by a treasurer from KZN in MK. And I was told that we need to have a meeting. They wanted to do a Zoom. And I kept postponing the Zoom. And it just went off the table because I was not replying. But I can't, in good conscience, support MK. Because to me, MK is a family business. I'm a critic. I look at things, I try to look at it objectively. But that does not mean that I don't acknowledge the great influence that Jacob Zuma has. I remember that man being, I think I was still in high school, I remember him being put in prison and this country coming to a standstill. That blew my mind when I was 17 or 18 years old. I was like, why is this guy not winning elections? But he has the power to do what no president has done in South Africa. That is why I say that I'm afraid of MK in perhaps gaining power. But I don't think MK aligns with my values. In my personal opinion, MK is not a leftist party.
What just happened right there is that he said two things, right? So he says, in order for him to vote, to participate as, a responsible citizen who should participate in the political process, to vote, in a sense, there'll need to be a movement that is led by a young person of 25 years old coming from the good townships of Khayelitsha and Soweto and things like this. And the people from Soweto, the young people in Soweto and the young people in Khayelitsha, do they really think that their townships are really good communities? And would Pieter Kriel trade his place in the world with a young black person from Khayelitsha? Would Pieter Kriel go stay in the good community of Khayelitsha and have one black person take his place in the world as a media darling who's getting all the money, who's getting all the attention in mainstream media, preaching bogus socialist ideas that destroy our country? Would he be able to do that? I don't think he will be, because all these people, ladies and gentlemen, are scumbags. They are hypocrites of the highest order. They are Pharisees who go out there preaching to the world about how good they are, how much goodness they can do with your money. If you give them your money through socialist policies, they can distribute it and ensure that they help black people. Crazy if you ask me. You cannot trust a liberal, as South Africans, we must stand up and say South Africa first. These people are not South Africa first. If you are South Africa first, ladies and gentlemen, you talk about economic growth, you talk about solving unemployment, you talk about individual responsibility in the black community, that there's no fathers. We must address that issue. Pieter Kriel will never stand on this platform and tell you that fatherlessness is the greatest problem that we are faced with in the black community, because he has no single experience as a black person. He's never had an experience as a black person ever in his life. I can stand here as a young black man who's objective, who's logical, and tell you that. Then the second thing they ask him, ladies and gentlemen, is regarding MK Party, that, he says he was approached by the MK Party to join the MK Party, and he says, he didn't want that deal. And what he does is to joke around by saying Zuma is one of the greatest and most influential people, which is true, but that is not what you were asked. The question was, did you ever consider joining the MK? And he says, no, I got hit up, and there was supposed to be a Zoom meeting that I've been postponing. Why did you postpone it? That should have been the follow-up question. Why did you not join it? Because you love their policies. You love Zuma, apparently. Zuma, Pieter Kriel, a young Jewish boy who's very rich, apparently, and his father is a senior engineer for a company called Business Connection. We know this, We do a little bit of a background check. This guy is a plant. He's been put there to distract the young black people, to continue the propaganda that young black people are victims. There's nothing you can do on planet Earth in South Africa to survive and get out of your situation. You need government, you need to be socialist, you need all these bad policies that do not work. You can't stand on your own 2 feet and survive in the free market, Ladies and gentlemen, it is high time that we start teaching people the tools of capitalism, how actual capitalism works. I myself, I'm trying to build up some businesses on the internet. Tough. It feels like it will never come true. It feels like it will never happen. But, we keep pushing. One day it will. You get what I'm saying? That's the thing about capitalism, You take risks. Things work, things don't. Pray to God. You become faithful, you don't hurt people, you don't go out of your way to tell people that they don't matter, or speak down on people. No, you build with your word. Those are the types of beliefs and principles that we believe in. No, Pieter Kriel wants to tell young black people that they are victims, that they cannot do anything to educate themselves. They cannot do nothing to get out of their own situations. And I like that one of the prominent white content creators in South Africa, really, Renaldo. A shout out to Renaldo. He's been on Pieter Kriel's case saying, Peter, you are a hypocrite. And let me play that video for you.
Yeah, another race grifter exposed, but the problem is the majority of people won't see this for what it is, race grifting. So Pieter Kriel popped onto the scene randomly out of nowhere and started making TikTok videos, Instagram videos, whatever other platforms he's on. But in essence, he started speaking on behalf of black people. And when people started saying, but why are you giving airtime to Pieter Kriel? Because ENCA, SABC, News 24, all these mainstream media outlets started giving him a platform to speak on black pain and black suffering. And then he tried to curb this with this interview saying the following.
What do you make of this?
I've always said I don't speak for black people. I want to speak with and alongside black people.
Oh, okay. So then you said that. But I've got a quick question for you then. Why are you going to China? And why are you speaking on behalf of black people at the China Black Business Summit? Last time I checked, you aren't black. I highly doubt that you've got a black business. So why are you taking this position away from a black person? Because ultimately that is what Pieter Kriel is doing. He is going to China in order to speak on behalf of black people, even though he himself said that he doesn't speak on behalf of black people. But that's exactly what he's going to go and do in China. But this is why he is a race grifter, because he wants to speak about black pain and black suffering on behalf of black people, and then he gets the benefit of it. He gets a flight to China, he stays in a 5-star hotel, he gets all those lovely meals, he gets all those lovely people wanting his signature and wanting his attention, because hey, he is this shining example of what white people should be around the world. But ultimately, he has taken this opportunity away from a black person in South Africa. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what race grifters do. And you are the ones that keep on providing this person with a platform to speak on your behalf when they are just there to grift and make as much money as they can.
What an amazing video. What an amazing video from Renaldo. He hits it right on the head by saying that this guy is a race grifter. He's grifting on race. He's making money through race hustling. Even though he's rich, even though he comes from gated communities, he comes from a private school. He's always had pocket money going to school. But no, he's going to come down to our level as black people. They're all dumb and poor and it's bad. So he's going to come down and talk to us about our problems. Detest that boy, man. Don't like him. I don't like him and many that like him. I don't like him and many like him. Abo Penuel, Abo Nota, you get what I'm saying? All that cabal that is concerned about black people just being victims, and we need government help, we need BEE, we need affirmative action, employment equity. We need the government to come and step into our families and destroy our families. Apparently we need that. We do not believe in the black community right now, according to Abu Penuel and Pieter Kriel. Well, the black community, we don't believe that we can take care of anything, that we can solve our own problems. If we live according to them, then we just have to be nursed by the state, right? Our hands are broken, our cut, we can't do nothing for ourselves. It is crazy if you ask me, ladies and gentlemen. These are the people who want to be catapulted into our spaces. Politically, they want us to honor these types of people, Abu Pieter Kriel. These people have no spirit of God in them. I think actually these types of people are very evil, if you ask me. This is evil. We are fighting not against flesh, ladies and gentlemen, but against the principalities in the spiritual realm. These people have taken the soul of South Africa. I mean, 2 young ladies just got killed right now by a bouncer somewhere in South Africa. Right now, they are attending a court case. It's very trending right now as we speak. You will never see Pieter Kriel commenting on that. The Mandlanga Commission, it's black people over there stealing. You will never hear Pieter Kriel say anything about those people. But you are going to see him sticking his nose on what is good for black people and what is not, when he doesn't know the realities that are lived by black people. Man, disgusting if you ask me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you love my videos, please hit the sub button, hit the like button, and open your notifications so that you are notified every time we upload a new video. And ladies and gentlemen, the Truth Report has closed, and apparently on the 1st they are going to announce their final contestants and the winners. So hopefully we made it, and thank you very much for 6,000 subscribers, and thank you very much for supporting me in the journey of me getting into the Truth Report. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it happens. Hopefully Abu Rob and Abu Renaldo, shout out. We the people see the truth, we hear the truth, and spread nothing but the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here.